This video is actually urgent and I am actually 100% in crypto. That's right, guys. I am completely out of stable coins and I'm making this video because I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on with Blackrock, with the ETF, all the Fugazi. But most importantly, I want to make this video and do it urgently because you guys need to understand the perspective of a shift in perspective, because a lot of people ask me right now, well, is Bitcoin potentially going to go back down to 20K? Are we going to see a big correction? And I want to give you a perspective from somebody who's been in the space a very long time. I've been in crypto since 2012 and was all in Bitcoin, sold all my fiat for Bitcoin in 2013. So listen, what's going on with BlackRock? And what about the Gary Gensler news? Well, if you don't know, guys, Gary Gensler is literally a pawn. BlackRock employs everybody. They have the most power of pretty much anyone in the world. They have their fingers in everything. And so if Gary really tries to get in the way of BlackRock, they will just have him removed or threatened or whatever to make sure that he is not standing in their way. BlackRock has way too much pride to announce something like an ETF only to be shut down by Gary Gensler. So if he didn't resign, that was fake, right? But it doesn't matter. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that this ETF will get passed, and crypto in America is going to happen, and there's going to be a ton of institutional inflow. And the good news for you is you still have Bitcoin right now at over a 50% discount from all-time highs. Now, if you look at traditional market cycles, 4-year cycles, I believe that we are already in a bull run. When you look back and measure a 4-year cycle, you're going to notice that the bottom was in November of last year after the FTX collapse. If you look at the chart right now, it's been pretty much up only since then. When we go back and draw and look at when did the bull market of 2023, because that's when it's going to feel like we're in a bull market, right? That's when it's going to feel euphoric. But when the bull market starts to feel euphoric, you really only have 6, maybe 12 months left of a good bull run, even though bull runs are typically 2 years and bear markets are typically 2 years. That's because the first year of a bull market is people still dealing with PTSD and recovering from that. But also it's just a very gradually upward trend. But if you look since November, we have been right from 15K to 31K. But now is the most important part. Now is when I want to give you a perspective shift. What's really important to look at. So even though I got into Bitcoin in 2012 and was able to buy some for 20, 30 bucks, I really started accumulating and had conviction in 2013. Now, I accumulated Bitcoin in 2013 all the way from around $100 to $500. Now, looking at today, where Bitcoin is at $30,000, and you look back and you were able to put yourself in my shoes back at that time in 2013, and you were able to buy Bitcoin at $500, would you? And if the answer is yes, and it's obvious that it's yes, how much of your net worth and your assets would you have put in Bitcoin at the time? More than likely, it's all of it, right? But if you were sitting on the fence and wondering, should I be buying Bitcoin right now at $500? Or is there potential that maybe it's going to drop back down to $250 or $300? Would it really have mattered today if you bought it at $250, $400, $500? Or would you have been happy that you just got in when it was still really cheap? Guys, Bitcoin is extremely cheap right now. It's still not priced in what's about to happen with institutions and all the money that's about to flow into the market. Another thing is that the bull market is going to happen regardless of the ETF. No matter what, it's priced in mathematically into Bitcoin. We're going to see a bull market, right? And that is likely to really start to feel bullish around the beginning of next year. We'll have the halving around March or April, I believe. And then about 6 months after that is when things start to get really, really euphoric. And then you should be very careful. But what I'm trying to say right now is that I went all in because I know what's happening. And I had from the last bull market, from the bear market, from being conservative. I had money, fiat sitting on this, or not fiat, stablecoin sitting on the sideline. And I just told myself and talked to myself and just relived these memories. And I said, man, Bitcoin could go back to 20,000. Do I think it's going to? No. Could we have a black swan event where all the banks in America collapse and Wall Street goes and crumbles into oblivion? America and the whole globe goes into a global recession and everyone's just effed, and does Bitcoin then go back down to 15K? Maybe. But do you know what's going to happen the second that Bitcoin starts to get on 25K, 20K? Every single smart money investor in the world is begging for a dip right now. If they could get in at $20,000, don't you think that they would? Absolutely, right? So even if it dips, it's not going to dip for long, and it still would be a good decision, because next year, midway through the year, Bitcoin's going to be well over $100,000, probably $200,000. We could potentially, there is a super cycle coming. It feels like this could be it. Bitcoin could even be at $1 million by the end of 2024. Now ask yourself, if that is true, would you be upset that you bought Bitcoin at 30,000, or would you have wished that somehow you got it at $25,000 or $20,000 if you haven't already? Now, I do have a caveat I must tell you about. So even though I don't have any more liquid dry powder sitting on the sidelines, I have majority of my net worth in Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of my favorite altcoins. And I also have it in projects that I've invested into. But I also have a secret backup plan. So not only have I gone all in, I've gone over all in. Now, I call this like the Michael Saylor approach to retail investing. So what I've done last week is I even decided to take some of my Bitcoin and Ethereum, put it up as collateral in Aave, and take a loan for stablecoin. And then I went and bought more Bitcoin and Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin and Ethereum, and put that back as additional collateral in the same loan process on Aave, and then I was even able to borrow a little bit more. Now, this is another form of leveraging. This is exactly what Michael Saylor is doing. But I do have some Bitcoin, and I do still have quite a bit of Bitcoin in cold storage. Now, the trick up my sleeve still is twofold. One, if we do happen to go down and get a 20,000 Bitcoin again, or sub 20,000 Bitcoin again, I'm going to take the assets that I have that aren't in Aave, my Bitcoin, and I'm going to go collateralize that and take out a loan and buy more. And that's going to lower my average buy-in of Bitcoin. And that gives me a better position. So this is exactly how you can but carefully leverage using something like Aave and wrapping your Bitcoin as collateral or whatever assets. Now, I do have other assets in other altcoins. And right now I have to make a decision. Do I love these altcoins, or do I think that we're going to have a big lead in Bitcoin? And when Bitcoin starts pumping hard, do I then sell some of Bitcoin and put it in some of the lower cap alts that will pump absolutely higher than Bitcoin will in a good market? Because I just wanted to give you this perspective, because it's really important. It is urgent that you hear this, because a lot of you are asking me, do you think Bitcoin's going to go lower? And the answer is, does it really matter? Because the future is so bright that at the end of the day, you're going to look back in 5 years from now and go, man, Kyle was right. It didn't matter. I'm so happy that in July 2023, I was able to get Bitcoin less than half the price of the previous all-time highs. And one day, people will tell you that you are so lucky that you got in to Bitcoin below $100,000. That's gonna wrap it up, guys. That's my video. I'm thinking about starting a daily show. Let me know if that would be interesting to you guys, like an Ivan on Tech or Crypto Banter, probably Monday through Friday. Let me know in the comments below if you think that would be awesome. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.